Hey everyone, thank you for tuning into Melen Soap Shop. Today we are going to learn techniques on how to make honey oatmeal hot process soap. If you are not familiar with the cautions of using lye, I am going to post a link to soapqueen.com. She has videos on instructions on the cautions of using lye. I also wanted to notify you of a contest I'm holding on my website at www.melensoapshop.com. The link will be below, and once you click on it, you'll be able to see the details of the contest. The other techniques we are going to learn are techniques on how to make an oatmeal cupcake bath bomb with frosting on top. So get your notebook, have a seat, take some notes, and learn techniques. Remember to support this channel, like and subscribe to my videos. Thank you for watching. Let's get soaping and have fun. First thing we're going to do is prepare our oils.
You use beeswax, add the beeswax first, wait till it's melted, then add your oils to the beeswax, cover and wait till they are melted.
When measuring lye, you must be very cautious. You must wear a mask, gloves, long sleeves, and goggles. You should always wear something on your head, a hairnet or a bandana, something that will cover your hair to keep hair from falling out into your ingredients. In my kitchen, I have a fan that blows in the direction of where I'm standing, and to my right, I have a window. I usually open that window and I have the fan blowing, so when I'm working with my lye, the fumes go to my right and they don't affect me as much. And they shouldn't affect you if you have your equipment on, your safety equipment, which is your gloves, your glasses, and your mask. I found that this is one of the best masks that I have ever used. I've had it for a while now, and it helps keep out the fumes from my face, from my lungs. So if any of the fumes happen to hit me in the face, this is protecting me.
Now you're going to measure your water. I always use distilled water, and that's what I would recommend. Once you measure your water, you will measure your lye. Before you measure the lye, make sure that you have your goggles and your mask on. This is me, all geared up, ready to go. Safety first. Safety is key. Remember that when preparing your lye water solution, always add your lye to your water, never your water to your lye. You can get seriously hurt if you do it the wrong way. So here I check the temperatures of the oil and the lye, and there is a 10-degree difference between the two. I added the lye water solution. Take the blender and burp your blender and begin to blend. You will reach trace very quickly with this recipe. Now at this stage, the soap base looks like pudding, and that's when you'll stop blending. Now you will cover your pot and put the pot on warm. Now you will cook the soap in 15-minute increments for about 1 hour or more. Now you're going to repeat steps 2 and 4 for pot number 2. You will blend until you reach trace. Now if you stay looking at pot number 2, something very interesting happened, and I'm glad this happened, so this way you can see how I took control of the situation. Pot number 2 began to go into a lava state. This happened because the temperature inside of the pot was at over 200 degrees. So I took my spatula, quickly began to mix, and once I began to mix, I took more control over what was happening in my pot. Then I left the cover tilted, slightly tilted, and began to continuously check the temperature in my pot to make sure that it wasn't over 200 degrees. And I believe that beeswax contains some traces of honey, and this is the reason why the soap base began to overflow at a lava state and got very hot. So in this case, what I did was I kept watching the pots 1 and 2, and I kept mixing, and I kept the covers either off or tilted. Things like this happen to your soap, you must remain calm. Just take your spoon, uncover your pot, and just mix and mix and mix and mix, and stay watching it. Do not walk away. Do not ever walk away from your hot process soap. Hot process soap can be very finicky depending on your recipe and depending on how often you use the same exact ingredients. So here you can see that I've taken control of what has happened. I'm taking the temperature, and the temperature has finally gone below 200 degrees. Now that the temperature has reached below 200 degrees, I am going to put the cover back on my pot. I'll set my crock pot aside, and then I will begin to check on the other pot. The other pot, I have also taken control of what was happening in that pot as well. So they're both looking very good. Pot number 1 is under control. I'm setting that aside. Pot number 2, under control as well. I'll just wait 15 minutes.
So it's been 15 minutes. Let's take a look at our soap. This one is bubbling a little bit. It's under control. The temperature is at 172, 68, 71 degrees, around there. I'm going to put the cover back on, put it back for another 15 minutes.
Now the pots have been cooking for 45 minutes. I'm checking the temperature regularly, and I'm making sure that everything is under 200 degrees. Here, I've already been cooking for 1 hour. And as you can see, everything is beautiful. Everything is nice. I'm mixing up a little bit here. And then I'm going to put the cover back on, and I'm going to let it cook for another 15 minutes. So the soap is almost ready. The soap is almost at a Vaseline stage. In the Vaseline stage, if you remember what Vaseline looks like, it's kind of clear. So I'm going to grab the other pot and I'm going to mix that pot as well. Now in here you could see it almost looks like mashed potatoes. That one looks like applesauce. That one looks like mashed potatoes. And these are two different pots. They cook at different temperatures, so that's why one looks different than the other. But they will both begin to be the same eventually. So here the soap is ready, looks clear and translucent. Check your temperature. The same thing here. I'm going to mix, and I'm going to put the cover back on and wait for the last 15 minutes. So now we're finally at the last 15 minutes. What I normally do is I unplug my crock pots, I turn them off, I uncover them, and I give the soap mix a really good mix. Mix it up really good. I check it, make sure there aren't any clumps, and then I add my colorant. So here I did this on purpose. I added a colorant, the mica, without mixing it with the oil, and as you can see, I'm just mixing it up with the spoon. It's so much easier to use a spatula than to use a spoon. Those spatulas that I use, the red ones, the silicone ones, you can get that at the dollar store for $1. They are the Betty Crocker ones, and they are fantastic. They come apart and you can clean them very well. So I added some titanium dioxide as well, and I mixed it. And I'll show you the difference here between adding olive oil in your titanium dioxide and your mica. You see how nice and smooth it looks? When you add titanium dioxide or mica colorants or powdered colorants that are not liquid, they get little solid lumps inside of your soap base. And I'll show you here. I'm not sure you'll be able to see it, but I'll show you what it looks like. So as you can see, I'm using the red spoon, the red spatula, a lot easier to mix. You can grab the sides of the pot with the spoon. I'm not able to do that. So I'm adding more titanium dioxide to the brown mixture because I want it to be lighter. I give it a good mix, add a little bit more, give it another good mix, and then I check my temperature and I add more titanium dioxide, well, the rest that I have left, to my other soap base. I give that a really good mix. And then now, after I'm done here, I'm going to show you the little lump from, I'm not sure if you're able to see it, you could probably see it, slightly see it, but you'll be able to see when you do it yourself. I did this as an experiment so you can see. Then I added my ground oatmeal. The grounded oatmeal, I ground it with a coffee grinder. The coffee grinder came from Walmart. I've had it for a couple years now, and I bought it for purposes such as this, so that I'm able to ground lots of my additives and add them to my soap. Now here I'm using the silicone spatula. You can see it's so much easier to just scrape the sides of the pot. Now I'm adding my honey. Take the honey, add it to each pot, and give it a good mix. Now I'm going to add my fragrance oil. That is the last step, the last thing that I do with my soap. I add the fragrance oil last because I don't want it to burn out, or I don't want it to flash. I don't want it to cook out while it's cooking. So this is the very last step. At this stage, the soap is cool enough where it'll hold the scent of the fragrance. So I scrape, put everything inside of my molds, and pound the mold down on the counter, so that way if there are any air pockets there, the air pockets will be taken out. Now, when I'm done here, I take the soap and I put it in the freezer for about an hour or two. This is a technique that Sharon uses, Rose of Sharon, and it is a really awesome technique. You put your hot process soap in the freezer for about an hour or two. It'll cool and get very hard, and you can take it out and then cut it. Now here I'm adding my oatmeal on top. And I'm pushing it down with my fingers so they don't fall out. Now we're going to unmold the soap. And this is my very favorite part. I'm sure this is everybody's favorite part. And we're going to see the beautiful surprise that's inside every soap that we make and cut.
Oatmeal honey soap. Thank you for watching Melen Soap Shop. I hope you enjoyed these techniques. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. And remember to support this channel, like, and subscribe to my videos. Bye, have a great day.
Part 2 will be coming up soon, and that will be the techniques on how to make oatmeal bath bomb cupcakes with the frosting on top. Thank you for watching Melen Soap Shop, and remember to support this channel, to subscribe and like my videos. Have a great day. Remember, I'm holding a contest on my website on the contest tab. Bring the most friends to our page by joining and receive a coupon for 20% off, 1 bath bomb and 1 soap. The contestant with the most votes wins the grand prize of 2 Mondo bath bombs, 1 set of hands and feet lemongrass balm, and 2 soap bars of your choice. See you there, and see you in part 2.